Good morning. My name is Nigel Stansfield. I'm the president at Interface in our EAAA region. That is Europe, Asia, Australia, and Africa. And I wanted to start by thanking you all for joining this session, and I look forward to answering questions at the end. I want to open up by setting the scene for you. Actually, I'm an engineer. I'm a material scientist. And I spent much of my career in innovation and supply chain before moving into senior management. And I've been at Interface my entire working life. I'm here to talk you through our company's approach to circularity. I've actually been very fortunate. I joined a value-based, purpose-driven company over 30 years ago when the world was a very different place, when sustainability and circularity were a long way from the board table. A period when the environment was a place you lived in and used rather than worried about. Thankfully, due to companies like Interface, this is now changing. It's important to say that the last 25 years have been an incredible journey. We have moved away from smokestacks and fossil fuel towards a renewable, circular and restorative future. We've had many successes and even more failures, but importantly, we've learned from them and we continue our journey. So who is Interface? We're a $1 billion manufacturing company that produces commercial flooring, carpet tile, LVT, and rubber. We have offices and manufacturing sites across the globe, and we employ over 4,000 people. Our carpet tile, LVT, and rubber flooring are all carbon neutral as part of our carbon neutral floors program. And this is provided at no extra cost to our customer. And we've been able to achieve this because of our commitment to sustainability. Last year, ahead of schedule, we achieved something many thought was impossible. I'm going to come on to that later. But first, let's start at the beginning. How did our journey begin? 25 years ago, a customer asked our founder and CEO, Ray Anderson, a single question that changed everything. What's your company doing for the environment? At the time, we didn't have an answer to the question other than we were compliant. And so Ray, already a pioneer in the category of modular flooring, decided to pioneer sustainable manufacturing. With the goal of helping the environment instead of continuing to hurt it, he set about the quest. In 1994, many thought we couldn't do it, and we were going to prove them wrong, and in doing so, change the industry. This quote on the screen is a tribute to Ray, who sadly we lost a few years ago, and is now part of his legacy and our company's legacy. What if companies today saw trash as treasure? What if everything we created was repurposed, reused, reimagined into something new? How would a business model built on such pillars work? So in 1994, we set out to eliminate any negative impact Interface may have on the planet by the year 2020. And we called this goal Mission Zero. Today, we can say that we have achieved Mission Zero. We've reduced our greenhouse gases, our emissions from global warming, by 96%. We use 75% renewable energy, gas and electricity globally. We've reduced the waste we send to landfill by 92%. And because of the positive impacts we've made through our influence in our industry and beyond, we feel confident in saying we've accomplished more than we set out to. We've shown that business can be a force for good, but we're not stopping there. Our commitment to eliminating our negative environmental impact provides us with courage to take on the next journey, to take our climate back. This new mission calls us to reverse global warming. It's bold and brave, just like our 1994 commitment. But this one, however, we know we cannot tackle this alone. We have a huge opportunity in the built environment to make an impact. So if Interface can commit to become a carbon negative company by the year 2040 and reverse global warming, what are you going to do? You as business leaders have the ability through your actions every day to change the course of our future. The future designing products has to be with end of life in mind. Nature doesn't produce waste, so why should we? We launched our re-entry program. Interface has promised to take back used flooring products from our customers and create further value with them in the most sustainable way in 1995. This was before the circular economy or cradle to cradle were common phrases. As an example, in the UK, we partner with specialist social enterprises and reuse operators to find a second home for all your used carpets. Whenever possible, this is the option that we prefer to take. Last year, we recovered over 6 million kilograms of post-consumer flooring through our global re-entry program. And our program works well, but it could do so much more. That's currently our focus. For this system to work, it requires a change in approach across business, across governments, and generally across society. This must be a requirement for our customers and for society, rather than a nice to have. In the future, Interface are actively looking at lobbying for changes in this area to make re-entry and end-of-life responsibility mandatory. We also pioneered circularity in our raw material supply chain. Networks is a community-based program that collects discarded fishing nets in remote coastal communities and sells them into our own supply chain. It's a collaboration and partnership, and we've used collaborations and partnerships to be very successful with this program. As a business alone, we couldn't have been able to set up networks because we would have fallen down at the community level on the ground. With networks, we've been very fortunate to work with a great partner. We leveraged the Zoological Society of London's experience in marine conservation and working with remote coastal communities to set networks up. In addition, ZSL themselves faced a challenge: how to develop a relationship with a community, allowing them to build trust, rapport, and regular contact to further their conservation goals, whilst also building trust in that community and a global supply chain. That was the business side, the interface side, helping provide long-term focus for this. With Aquafil, we had a partner, a supplier, who was willing to explore the concept of supplying your supplier and to work with us to get the communities we partner with to be competitive with their usual commercial suppliers. It's perhaps surprising that a carpet tile manufacturer and a conservation charity would partner up, but we are seeing more examples of innovating with unusual suspects. Now together, we are looking for what comes next with networks as that partnership continues to expand and develop. And now, as part of Next Wave, a working group committed to scaling the use of ocean-bound plastics by developing the first global network of ocean-bound plastic supply chains, we joined with Dell, HP, Trek, IKEA and others in 2017 to share lessons and co-create. Together, Next Wave committed to divert a minimum of 25,000 tonnes of plastics, the equivalent of 1.2 billion single-use plastic bottles, from entering the ocean by the end of the year 2025. We are leading industry and pushing boundaries on the circular economy. This real cross-sector collaboration is what the future requires. So what's next? We're looking to the green recovery. Our climate take-back programme has focused us to reverse climate change. But as I said earlier, we cannot do this alone. So we're looking at Ray, our founder, on the right here, and his approach to leading a world-changing sustainability movement. And we move 25 years later to Greta, who today is challenging the same action. We need to ask ourselves this question: what more can we do now as individuals and companies to help create a climate that's fit for all of life? So if I may, I will leave you with these three final thoughts before I open up to questions. There is no single perfect answer, but we know by fostering a culture of innovation, you can map a way forward to a brighter, more prosperous future. Collaboration with your people, your customers, suppliers, and unexpected experts will be key to unlocking your own business potential. Build resilience in your business by taking action now rather than waiting for regulation to change. The climate we live in today means we need to act fast to weather the storm. So now it's up to you. What's your commitment to take our climate back? How will you and your colleagues make a positive change? And with those thoughts, I'll now open up for questions. Thank you.